of the Federal Republic. Mr. President, let me start by commending the Senate Committee on Finance. The commendation comes from the fact that this document is the foundation for the appropriation estimate which the President will be laying before the Senate. And all the indices that the projection contained in this document, I observe, has been sustained by the committee. I want to commend them for that. Areas which, for me, is of concern, especially is in the area of inflation. As we speak, inflation is at 33%, National Bureau of Statistics. And the projection is, for this year, inflation will be 15.75, subsequent 14.75, and by third year it will be 10.01. And three things are responsible for this inflation. One, food insecurity. Two, subsidy. Three, FX. And for these three items, that is why currently today as we speak, our inflation is at 33%.
Break it down. Which one is FX?
That is foreign exchange. Mr. President, if going by the plan put together by this administration will work, I can assure us that all this projection can actually materialize. For instance, on the issue of FX, thank God our local refineries are working. Port Harcourt refinery is already working. Yes, Port Harcourt refinery is currently working. Dangote is also working. And this put less pressure on our FX. It put less pressure. If we could bring Kaduna refinery on board, what that simply means that the demand for FX will reduce drastically. And we can now divert the usage of our FX to all other services aside importing of refined products. Two, on the issue of the oil, this administration is working so hard to see how we bring on board the CNG, and they are already making impact gradually. The conversion kit is already coming in, and for instance, I give you a scenario. For you to move from here from Benin to Lagos, the total number of amount of fuel that you consume will stand at about 178,000 naira. But with the CNG, you will not use more than 48,000 naira. And I strongly believe that if this administration could put more effort in this direction, I think the issue of PMS becoming an issue will be optional. If you want to go with the PMS, if you want to go with and all of this put together will further bring lower pressure on our FX. Thirdly, on the area of food insecurity, I know this administration is investing so much in agriculture. They are doing so much. At least let us be able to feed ourselves. And with all this effort put together by this administration, I think the issue of food security by next year will be a thing of the past. And I strongly feel that all indices sustained that have been adhered to by the committee is a step in the right direction. And on the issue of the internally generated revenue, I am taken aback. Agencies like Custom have surpassed their budget already. Federal Revenue Service has surpassed their budget already. And we should be prepared to give them a new budget target. That's one area we should look forward to as National Assembly. If Customs will have called you looking at 5 trillion naira this year, and we are still in December, then we should be looking at between 7.5 and 8 trillion naira for next year. And so many other revenue generating agencies in that direction. And also, the Central Bank of Nigeria, for the last couple of years, have not paid to the coffers of the government their revenue surplus. And we were informed that there's a reconciliation currently going on, and that went to several billions of naira on the part of the Central Bank of Nigeria, which will be remitted to the Consolidated Revenue Fund account. This we must work on by the National Assembly. And lastly, on what is our actual debt profile. I think Committee on Loans, Aids and Debt should be in the position to give us the actual figure of our current debt profile as a country. Again, another area that's of concern to me, which I want us to look into as National Assembly, is the area of ratio of capital to revenue. I mean the capital expenditure. We are still far from the current realities. As we speak, recurrent to capital is in ratio 80 to 20 for the last couple of years. That should not be. It shouldn't. That is the cost of running the government is far higher than cost of providing infrastructure to Nigerians. This is one area as a National Assembly we must look into and see ways by which we can correct this. Mr. President, having said these few things, I want to commend the committee, and I strongly believe that this year we are going into will be a good year for us as a country, and with all the reforms being introduced by this current administration, it's a right step in the right direction, and we should not stop at that. Thank you, Mr. President. I so submit.
Distinguished Senator Yahaya.